Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another week, another video. Okay, I am so excited for this one and I have made some notes this time round. I know they're always unscripted, so this is still unscripted. Yeah, I have got some notes because I don't want to miss anything out. Okay, in this video, I am going to tell you all about the Noor framework, okay? It's a way to help you make decisions. And when I put this framework together and I made it into like a fully fledged course, it really was an amazing process. I learned so much through it. And I know that people that I've coached using these 4 steps have always been so blown away. And I'm not kidding you. Honestly, yeah. You've got to try it out for yourself. So there's 4 steps to the Noor process, and what it does is it helps you make decisions and it illuminates your journey, Noor, light, okay, towards your eternal home. So when you're making decisions, you're consciously thinking about, are these decisions going to be a way for me to connect closer to Allah? There's 2 ways to use this process to make decisions. One is like sitting down and journaling, which I go into more depth in the course, right? You don't really need to worry about that. In this video though, today we're talking about decisions you've got to make. You don't want to sit down with a journal. You don't want to do all that stuff. You just want to make a decision. You just want help. And yes, we can go to mentors, we can go to people, we can ask for support and help. But ultimately, you've got to make your own decision. On the Day of Judgment, when we're standing in front of Allah, you can't blame somebody else for the choices you've made. You've got to take responsibility for your actions, for what you do. So the Noor framework, right? It's all about personal growth and spiritual development. It's a journey that is designed to help you align your decisions with your ultimate purpose. Whether you're facing a big decision in life or simply want to improve your daily choices, the Noor framework can really help you through this process. It could be your daily decisions or your big decision. Like, I'll be honest with you, people have come to me with really big decisions like, Smina, I don't know what to do. I'm with this person and it's just not working out and I just need to move on, but I don't see a way out. Then I've got people saying, I'm at work, my boss is like this, my manager's like this, and I just don't see a way out. I have to work, I have to do this. And you know something? Over our conversations, over our, tidbits in life, we've come to find a way to move forward, okay? Because it's never the end. There, you've got the end is only when you meet Allah. Right now on this journey, it's just a whole host of situations and everything that we're going through to ultimately meet Allah. There's 4 steps in the Noor framework. The first step is clarity. The second step is release. The third step is embody. And the 4th step is to surrender. I will go through each step and I will explain each step as well. The first step, clarity. It's all about, what do you want? Such a simple question, but a question that is usually overlooked. I use this for myself all the time. So you know when like anxiety kicks in, or when I'm getting really worried, or when I'm thinking, I don't know what to do. The first thing I need to do is, well, what do I want? Something as basic as cooking, okay? It's like, well, oh, I don't know what to cook. Where do I go? What do I do? So just sit down and think, well, what do I want? I want to cook something. Okay, well, what do I want to cook? That's how you're getting clarity, okay? Instead of thinking straight away, well, you could either cook, you could go eat at your parents' house, you could go eat at your friend's house, you could go get a takeaway. There are so many options. First and foremost is getting clarity on what you want. That's something quite simple. Something like children, okay? Do I want children? Do I not want children? Do I want to get married? Do I not want to get married? Go into teaching? Do I go into becoming an entrepreneur? Do I leave this country I'm in and go to a different country? Any decision that you've got to make, first and foremost, you've got to get clear on what it is you want. And one way to get clear on what it is you want is to reflect on your own values. Reflect on what it is that truly matters to you. Think about specific goals and prioritize what aligns with your long-term vision. So for example, if you're looking at what you want to eat as a simple, basic, thing that you're doing that day, look at your long-term vision. If it's health, if it's like how Allah says in the Quran, eat from the earth, are you eating food that aligns with that long-term vision of yours? And then step 2, I love this, because when you're getting clear on this decision, by the way, all these 4 steps do intermingle with each other. You sort of take them on together. You go through those steps together because that's the way you really see benefit and really are able to move forward. In step 2, you release all the emotions and thoughts and everything that are taking you away from Allah. How do you know if something's taking you away from Allah? For example, it'll be all those negative emotions, right? So if fear is coming up for you, the only thing we should fear is Allah, nothing else. So if you're getting fear of, oh my goodness, if I leave this job, what am I going to eat tomorrow? Or, oh my goodness, if I get married, what if it doesn't work out, right? That fear or any limiting belief that's holding you back from making that progress, right? That is just going to be taking you away from Allah. And if you stay in that zone, if you stay in those feelings, you're just going to feel worse. And sometimes it can get really out of control where you end up becoming depressed or end up developing a different mental or physical illness. And that's why it's important to get clear on what you want, then release those emotions. Some big ones that I always talk about in the course is fear, doubt, and also just that feeling of I can't do it. They're the big ones, or I'm not worthy enough. Now, once you've done this, you move on to step 3, which is embody. Embody those feelings that bring you closer to Allah. For example, gratitude, such a big one, right? Yet, we don't do it. We actually don't do it. So once you're getting rid of all those feelings that are taking you away from Allah, then embody those feelings that are going to bring you closer to Allah. Seek forgiveness. Okay, say, Allah, firstly, I'm so sorry for, whatever that's coming up in your life at that point. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for the mistakes that you've made. Forgive yourself for the parts you've played in that decision making that are not serving you. And give yourself a bit of compassion. Embody compassion. Embody those names of Allah that are really going to allow you to become closer to Allah. Give yourself that compassion. Give yourself that love, that hope. Embody everything that is going to bring you closer to Allah. And, surround yourself then with that positivity and that support, either through your eternal, network of friends or through what you're listening to, anything that will all help embody that feeling. When you embody these qualities, you're not just making decisions, you're forming your entire way of life. And last but not least, surrender. Right, surrender is a really tricky one because when I say the word surrender, people don't know what I'm talking about. And in this instance, I'm saying you're surrendering to Allah, nothing else. Lastly, so you've got clear on what you want, you've released those emotions that take you away from Allah. You've embodied those emotions that bring you closer to Allah. And then finally, you leave it in Allah's hands. That, my love, is something that's missed out a lot in personal development. And usually we think we do everything ourselves, okay? We take responsibility for our actions. Yet ultimately, we also know that when we do whatever we do and we leave it in Allah's hands, we do it with Allah by our sides. That is when we know we've made the right decision, or we know that Allah will guide us the right way. And it doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting in Allah's plan and having that patience. So imagine you want something like, I don't know, a new house, okay? A new handbag. You start setting yourself up, you start the work, but you leave it in Allah's hands, because Allah's got the best plan and you're having that patience. It's about understanding that sometimes, despite your best efforts, things don't go as planned. And here's a few other bits that you can think about when you're navigating this final step, okay? First is develop trust. So believe that Allah has a plan for you. Practice patience, understand that everything happens in its own time, and seek Allah's pleasure. Align your actions with your faith. If you are in that part where you're, constantly ensuring you're making Allah happy, then you are surrendering to Allah. Surrendering doesn't mean you're weak. Surrendering means that you are actually resilient and strong, and you're not letting outer forces control you. Instead, you are connected. You are connected with the highest being, the highest. I don't know, I can never be grateful enough for the connection we have with Allah. Like, we don't need to go to anyone. We don't need to pay hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds, anything for this. Why did I just say dollars? Like, these children of mine need to stop watching these American whatever, because dollar, that's all I hear, right? But, you don't need to do any of that. That is the beauty of our faith. Our faith is that when you surrender to Allah, you're not weak, but you're actually strong. That is where you get your strength from. You get your strength for making that decision from Allah. Now, let's go a bit more into integrating the Noor framework, the 4 steps into your daily life. And whether it's your career, your relationship, or your personal growth, the Noor framework can help you maintain consistency and overcome obstacles. So set daily intentions. Start each day with a clear purpose. How many of us do that? How many of us set out each day to say, this is what I'm going to do? I remember there was a time when I was managing this nursery, and every day that I would go into that workplace, I used to set my intention through a dua. And I used to always say, Allah, allow me to serve the people that come through these doors today, to ensure that we have built strong relationships, and whatever we do is for your sake. And we prospered, subhanAllah. So it's so important to set those intentions right, because that trickles through to everything you do that day. Reflect on your progress. So important. We can get bogged down sometimes thinking it's never enough. There's so much to do. Yet when we look back and see the progress we've made, it allows you to assess and adjust as needed. Stay committed. Remember, this is a lifelong journey. We are constantly growing, striving, and that's what's going to keep on happening. We're not supposed to be stagnant at this point in our lives, because we are trying to achieve Jannah. That is our ultimate goal. We are more than that, actually. I don't even like saying that. I like to say we're trying to achieve pleasing Allah. That is our ultimate goal. Because if we do it for Jannah, then we're putting like a thing in place. How do I put it? We're putting like, oh, I'm doing this so I get Jannah. But if you do it just to please Allah, the outcome will be Jannah. So finally, just remember to connect to your ultimate goal which is seeking Allah's pleasure and preparing for the hereafter. By following this framework, okay, you're not just making better decisions, but you're cultivating a fulfilling and balanced existence in this world and the next. Whew, that's it for today's video. And I hope that the Noor framework helps you on your journey towards personal growth and spiritual fulfillment. And honestly, like always, I say, if you want even more value, you can always join Club Gov, which is our community. And I'm actually going to leave the link for the Noor course in this video as well. So if you want to just take it further, you can just have access to the full course. Honestly, I'm not just saying it, it is amazing. Like, I think I've got like 22 videos in there, whole host of resources from workbooks to affirmations, meditations, just there's so much in there, all halal, all faith-centered, and all there to help you become closer to Allah. Regardless of that, that's up to you if you want to or not. I love you regardless, and I pray that we meet again in Jannah. So, Assalamu alaikum. See you again next week, inshallah.